Welcome back, tech gurus and newbies. So today we're gonna study how to actually implement switch case in that. Okay, so switch case is really easy to also check cases when you are switching between conditions. Okay, so in a switch case you can only implement int and string in the conditional parameters. You can include boolean. Okay, good. So in the case of the grades, let's use this to demonstrate. So let's say we have a, let me use small letters. Then we have I use small letters instead. Let's say we have a string grade, and grade is equal to a. Yeah, this is an initial what assignment for our variable grade. Okay, so in here we will use the switch keyword to start with our switch statement. So we have a switch, and then we have here is the condition. So probably we need to put in a string or an integer. So I put in grade here. Okay, so this is a curly bracket after your first what? Your first switch statement. All right. So inside your switch statement, that is where you actually gonna have the cases in here, and then the cases are basically conditions you should meet. Okay. So the keyword we use here is case. So for example, if we say case A, let me use a capital letter. So we have a case A, and then you have to bring a column here, yeah, for it to certify the case before you come up with your print statement. Okay, so let me terminate this, and then in here you need to write the print out what words or strings. So we can say best best grade best grade best grade, that is the A. Okay, then we can have another case. So this is the another condition. So we write case, and we have this B. Okay, so first case was A, second case is what? B. It's pretty much simple. So here, after the case, we bring the column, then we can add the print statement to this. Okay, so we use the single quote. So here you say good grade, good grade, good. Okay, then you need to end the statement. So you can have several of these cases as a condition, okay, using the case keyword. So this will be C, that is the next case, and then the column. Okay, then we're gonna have the print statement, and it's going to also end here. So for this, let's use this single quote in here, and then for C grade, we should say not the best, not the best. You got to work hard. You got to work hard. Okay, good. Now let's look at another case. Yeah, since we are using grade, we should have cases for all the real world what? Real world way of what? Grading system. So we're gonna have the F case, and then here we can print probably, let's say you failed. Yeah, in the real world, if you have F, it is a failure. So it's it's a total it's a total failure. Okay, then I end this here. Okay, so I'm using it. It's because I'm using it, I can use the single quote. It's gonna give us an error, so I have to use the double quote for this, or I have to put the backslash right here. Yeah, so I changed this to the double quote. All right, then we have these keywords I left out. These keywords always terminate what? Terminates our what? Our code anytime a statement is true, okay? Or anytime a statement is fulfilled using our what? Using our initialization here. So what is that? That is called a break statement. So if this condition is satisfied, it needs to stop. Simple. So we call it break. If this condition is satisfied, then stop over here. Okay, so we need to put this break right after the print statement for each case. Each case. But we have an exception. An exception is in all the cases we have a default case where it's gonna be the last alternative to print out to the user if all the above cases was not satisfied. So we call this default. So we use the keyword default, and then you have a print statement right after the default. Okay, so let me print, let's say, not a proper grade, then I need to terminate this statement here. Okay, so let's run and then see if the initialization up there actually, it's actually what? True. So I run this and I'm getting an error. Grade isn't used, or I made a mistake here. Grade isn't used, so I correct this, and then let me run this again. Okay, good. So we get what? Best grade. Best grade. So best grade was satisfied because the grade is equal to A, and then the case A actually need to print out this because this this parameter here, or this string, have been assigned to the letter A, and the first case is letter A, so it needs to satisfy the first condition, and then it breaks, so it prints out this. Okay, so we can also change this to B, and it should show good grades on the console area. Good grades, right? So depending on the what, on the condition we are checking, if it's satisfied, then it will actually print out the statement. Good. So let's say we type in probably A, B, C, which in a normal sense it has not been defined here, so it should run and go to the default statement. But let me see. Default, uh default print, the what on line 21. Try removing the code. Try removing the code and fixing it before it runs. Okay. No, we have no break here. Okay. So let me see. I got it. We need to we need to default default is wrongly spelled. So you see it gives us that error. Okay. So let me run again and then we should get not a proper grade. Perfect. So this is how we actually define what we actually write our switch codes in a Dart. Okay. So we said here in a switch case in that or in this switch case you can only define what int and a string int and a string only. Okay, int and string here. So here you cannot define a boolean here, it will not work. Okay, so anytime you're gonna use the switch statement in your program, you need to make sure you don't think of using a boolean, but you use either a string or an integer. Okay, so this is the end of this video. We're gonna add other loops to our video, but that should be in the next one. So we're gonna say peace and we'll see you in the next video.